Okay, good afternoon, everyone. How are we feeling? Wave if you're happy. Oh, we got some waves. Good, good. Now, I'd love to welcome you to this session, which is a live brand challenge with Russell Hobbs. We've got a very exciting half an hour lined up for all of you. And, a big challenge. Just come on in, find a seat if you're still looking for a seat. But a big challenge for brand leaders today is navigating the plethora of MarTech solutions that are available to them. How do they know where to invest their budget? Who can help them achieve their goals? And importantly, who are the right partners to collaborate with? And that's where CoQ comes in. We help connect brand leaders to the future through a global network of 12 million startups. And we've been solving big challenges for brands like Russell Hobbs for the last decade, helping them connect with the latest solutions globally that can help solve some of their challenges. So we're going to be doing this live on stage right now at Mad Up North. Are you guys ready? All right, we're getting lots of nods. Woo! Yeah, whoop along. Before we get into this, I'm going to introduce to you, we've got Becca from Russell Hobbs, who's going to give us a bit of a context for the challenge and what the challenge is for this afternoon. So please, round of applause to Becca as she comes on up. Thanks, Becca. Great to have you. Could you just start by introducing yourself, your role at Russell Hobbs, and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Becca. I'm the marketing manager at Russell Hobbs, so looking after the total marketing mix for Russell Hobbs within the UK.
Awesome. And you've been thinking about this challenge for a while. Could you just help share with everyone what is the challenge and the kind of context and thinking behind it?
Yeah, sure. So Russell Hobbs has been around since 1952 and is a really well-established and trusted brand. So we sell products from kettles, toasters, irons, all the way through to your food prep items such as hand mixers and hand blenders. However, as you can imagine, over the last 70 years or so, the product and competitive landscape has changed quite dramatically. So in the post-pandemic world, for example, people are buying a lot more into air fryers, which I'm sure a lot of you have probably got in your homes now.
Who's got an air fryer? Come on, hand up. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so that means our competitors have changed dramatically. So we wanted to challenge the startups to basically help Russell Hobbs differentiate themselves from their competitors, whereas the competitors have got these huge kind of brand budgets. So we need to make sure that we can compete against them.
Yeah, so you've got to make every pound count from your
exactly.
budget. All right, so startups, I hope you're listening. Are you ready? Anything else you'd like to add before we get in and get the first startup to pitch? Okay.
No, I think we're just looking forward to seeing some really exciting ideas and bringing them to life on stage today.
Awesome, right, round of applause for Becca. Okay, so are we ready for our first startup who's going to pitch against this live challenge? We have lovely Audrey from Aiden. If you'd love to give a round of applause for Audrey.
Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful MadFest. My name is Audrey. I'm the managing director of ADEM, and I'm really excited to be here today to talk about programmatic, fraud and bot traffic in programmatic, which is a bit more of a serious topic, but mostly to talk about Russell Hobbs and their use case. So Russell Hobbs is an institution. Like, it's definitely part of the UK culture. I'm sure 90% of the people here have at least one Russell Hobbs appliance at home. It's a brand that has managed to thrive through the years since 1952, despite all the major society changes, and that includes digital transformation, the multiplication of advertising channels. So, obviously, as Becca mentioned, one of the major challenges that the brand is facing is obviously the SDA market, so the small domestic appliance market in the UK, which is highly competitive. Through those years, we've got massive global brands coming into competing with those UK local brands. And obviously making sure they're spending large budget and making sure they're heard. So the challenge for us today, we're going to focus on 3 areas, will be how to help Russell Hobbs keeping the consumer excitement about their product and elevate their brand health. How can we protect their legacy product, all the product that we know from Russell Hobbs, and making sure that we promote also the new development product category. And then finally, and I think this is the most important thing, is how can we make sure we do this effectively without exploding their marketing budget, basically. So, I want to talk about ROI. So, more than anyone at ADEM, we understand that every pound counts when it comes to marketing budget and ROI. So, just to give you a little bit of a figure, like in the UK, 85% of digital ad spend are running through programmatic channels. And for obvious reasons, like the promise is quite big, scalability, data measurement, omni-channel reach, you know the drill. So, however, there is one major challenge that all those brands are facing, and that has been the massive talk in the industry for the last 2 years, which is ineffective traffic, fraud, and bot traffic. This is something, unfortunately, that has raised a lot, and that every brand is facing to fight to make sure that they allocate their budget accordingly and stop wasting spend on effective traffic. And this is basically why we founded ADEM. So at ADEM, we are a programmatic buying platform, a DSP, and we are the very first one that has been built with an inventory filter at its core level. That's never been done before. We wanted to take the problem at its core and make sure that we help agencies and brands to make sure they were spending effectively their budget. So to give you a little bit of figure, that's the official number from the ANA, which is the most trusted organization for this research. A quarter of programmatic spend is wasted into invalid traffic or ineffective traffic. So that's a big issue. ADEM, as the very first anti-fraud DSP, we make sure that with those very powerful filters, we check every impression. We use 20 data points to make sure that this impression is actually a human being. It's actually what the brand wants to pay for, and it's actually effective for the campaigns. So we're making sure that every dollar is actually invested into maximizing the campaign efficiency. So this is how we're going to help Russell Hobbs, basically, and making sure that with the ADEM filtering, they are spending without increasing their budget because they will get much more working media. So I wanted to bring some tangible evidence because you don't have to trust me. You might not know ADEM. This is an A/B test. And we conduct those A/B tests very frequently. And this is the type of result that we see. This shows how effective our filtering are. So we basically showcase with the filtering and the 20 check that we do in real time how much more working media we generate, which is on average four times. So we wanted to focus on 3 areas for Russell Hobbs' strategy today. The first one is drive to store and geo-targeting, which is 2 very important things for the brand. The first one is having a very granular targeting using latitude, longitude. There is a lot of reseller in the UK for Russell brands. So I'll name a few: Currys, Argos, John Lewis. We could potentially manage to get all those coordinates for those shops and make sure with a specific radius, target those areas effectively to make sure we can drive those people into stores. We can optimize on a daily basis all those budgets, making sure that we allocate more budget in the places that have generated more engagement, more clicks, more time spent on page. And obviously with the anti-fraud filtering and bot filtering, we can make sure that all of those spend translate into sales. Then, obviously, brand awareness is important, particularly to promote your fabric care, new products. We could overlay some CTV advertising. ADEM is very well placed in that space. We're making sure that all CTV advertising placements are actually real TV screens. We can overlay the most premium channel in the market. We are connected to all the major players, 55 SSP in total. And I'm going to finish with precise targeting. So 3 main strategy, which is inclusion. We will make sure that we will target the right demographic, the right intent to purchase, and retarget all the users that have been visiting the website but potentially not bought yet. And exclusion. I think there is a very good use case as well in including all their CRM. If someone has bought a kettle, let's not waste budget to target them with a kettle. So we could implement something to exclude all those already bought users. So to conclude, I think understanding the challenges in a market where every brand is shouting, the smartest brands win by ensuring they are reached and heard by the right people. And this is what ADEM does effectively. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Round of applause for Audrey. Okay, so we're going to get Becca back from Russell Hobbs, who's just going to share with us perhaps one highlight from the pitch and a question for Audrey.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting to make sure that we're getting the right amount of traffic to target our active aspirer audiences. How do you work with media agencies to use this solution?
Great question. So actually, we have so many different use cases. Your use case is quite common. We've got a lot of people in the exact same situation. We do have media agencies that are looking for higher engagement, and they say, how can we do this? And higher engagement comes by time spent on pages. How many pages, and how long a user has spent on the website to look at a product. And this is the kind of thing when you remove bot traffic from all those this traffic that you're targeting and inventory that you're targeting, this is what we observe, because bot traffic can navigate, they can click, but they never look at product pages, and of course they never buy. So this is how we really generate that high engagement. So branding, this is the type of metric we can work on, and obviously performance naturally increase without too much optimization, because as I said, only real human can have interest and real interest in a product.
Great, thank you.
Thanks. All right, thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, so are you ready? We've had one down. We've going from the world of DTS and geolocation to the world of influencer marketing. I'd love to introduce you to Tom from Gifter, who's going to talk us through their response to Russell Hobbs' brand challenge. And Tom is going to have to do multiple things.
I'm going to try and do most things here at once. Yes, thank you.
There you are.
Thank you, everybody. Go back. I'm Tom. I'm the co-founder of Gifter. Gifter is quickly become the fastest growing influencer gifting and seeding company in the UK. We put products into the hands of micro and nano influencers at scale in a non-controlled environment, enabling them to create the content they want to create in their own unique way, and also allowing brands such as Russell Hobbs to connect with audiences on a much deeper level. Russell Hobbs have asked us how can they find ways in which they can differentiate in the market versus their competitors, all of which we know right now marketing budgets are being pushed and pushed and pushed. So we need to make sure we get as much bang for our buck. We have a database of just over 20,000 influencers in the UK and demographic data on every single one of them. We know where they live, we know what they eat, we know what they drink. It's really important for us to understand that we match the brand to the right influencer in the first instance. We have a very simple model at Gifter to make sure that we do not have any wastage in everything we do. We want to make sure our post rate is high as possible. In the industry, we have noticed that brands and agencies, if they do this activity by themselves, are only receiving a 20 to 30% post rate. At Gifter, we're seeing averages of 90% over the last year. And this is simply putting accountability back on those influencers. We have one simple model. If the influencers love it, they share it. If they don't love it, they tell us why they don't like it. So there's a value exchange in everything they do. We treat them as consumers first and influencers second. We look after all the fulfillment, distribution, and personalization of all the lovely boxes that we put together, as I'll show an example here. We have one main opportunity to drive love for the influencer first. They have to open that box and feel love from the brand in order to show love back. We have our own platform that tracks content in real time across Instagram and TikTok, enabling us to understand the true return on investment in everything we do. We don't miss a single piece of content in any of our campaigns. We work with a lot of food and drink brands, which could become incredibly as a credible opportunity for Russell Hobbs moving forward, as we can partner with them as well. We want to focus on authenticity and creativity at its very best. We want to put Russell Hobbs into real homes, allowing them to receive real reviews and real content that resonates with niche audiences and communities. Using hundreds, and hopefully, if we work longer with Russell Hobbs, thousands of influencers in a single year, we can allocate those influencers into multiple different categories of products with different themes at different times of year. It enables us to make sure that we pinpoint the times in which Russell Hobbs need the influencers within those certain spaces of time. We've also noticed that the best performing influencers, and we gifted to nearly 12,000 last year, have just a following of 1,000 to 5,000. And we've realized that that is because they have just one degree of separation between them and their audience. They're highly trusted. Their friends, their family, or their friends of friends. And everything they do and say is watched very, very closely. Bringing this to life and how it'll look, the execution, as I say, we'll make some lovely Russell Hobbs boxes like this. I'll pop it on the stage and you can see we create a lovely A5 information card which sits within the box. Here we're not telling the influencers what to do, we're just guiding them, allowing them to have the information to make an informed decision as to whether or not the brand and the product fits for them and their audience. With the budget that Russell Hobbs has put to us, we can deliver boxes to 200 influencers across the UK. With around a 90% post rate, we will generate over 500 pieces of unique content and to an audience of at least 1.6 million in combined following. We can then utilize that content to amplify it across the rest of the business because we also will give them content rights so we can push that content even further to raise awareness of Russell Hobbs throughout the whole of the UK. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Round of applause for Tom from Gifter. All right, so we're going to get Becca back up from Russell Hobbs, who's going to just give us a highlight from the pitch, Becca, and perhaps a question for Tom.
Yeah, that was really great. Thank you. I think one of the highlights was working on how you can partner with some of your food and drinks brands with Russell Hobbs. I guess, how do you find small domestic appliances brand performing on Gifter compared to FMCG brands?
It's really interesting, actually, because we as I say, you have the opportunity to put the appliance into the hands of lots of different people. What we have found is that appliance companies, you end up with even more content than you would with the FMCG companies because they're constantly able to make new recipes and put new ingredients together. So we see that higher value items, such as some of yours, will be used over longer periods of time. So there's a lot more opportunity for content creation.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. If I could have the clicker, please, Tom. That'd be great. We'll go to Rob. All right, let's just check in before, Rob, you get up. How is everyone? Wave if you're happy. Keep waving if you're thinking about what you're cooking on your air fryer tonight. Yes, you are. Absolutely. Right, so I hope you've got the gist of it now. We've got our third startup out of 4, so be ready for this. We've got Rob. Are you ready to go, Rob? Awesome. Big applause for Rob, please.
Thank you very much. So I'm Rob. I'm CEO of B2B Store, and we run the equivalent of MailChimp for WhatsApp. So we're going to explain how we think WhatsApp can make a fundamental difference in how Russell Hobbs differentiates itself and gets to its customers quicker than anybody else in the market. So first question is, how big is WhatsApp? In summary, it is absolutely massive and it's still growing. 20 million new users in the UK in the last 2 years alone. 8 out of 10 adults are using WhatsApp on a regular basis, and the interaction rates we get with WhatsApp are eye-watering compared to email. 98% read rates, according to Meta. If you think about that and compared to emails, 20% for email, 30% is good. That's 70% of emails are still not even read. And we're now seeing people are becoming increasingly used to receiving messages in WhatsApp in a business context as well. It's not only the reach of WhatsApp, 80% of users, and the interaction rates, but it's the speed people are actually interacting with WhatsApp as well. This chart shows our customers receiving WhatsApp messages. You can see hitting almost 100% over time, but we're getting 10% of WhatsApp messages are read within 1 hour, and 60% of WhatsApp messages are read in less than 6 hours. So how does this work? This is not the free version of WhatsApp. This is the business API version, a relatively new concept from WhatsApp. This is how WhatsApp is monetizing its entire business. Businesses like mine build applications. They then push messages through the business API, and we are charged per message. We have 3 different types of messages. We have marketing messages, customer service messages, and utility messages. Every message attracts a different cost from Meta. They've just announced, incidentally, that customer service messages are now free. Think of marketing messages as outbound messages, customer service messages are inbound messages, and utility messages are automated messages. They're trying to avoid it to become the next email as well, so there's a whole series of anti-spamming measures built into the system. So how does it work in practice? We would ask Russell Hobbs to work with Russell Hobbs to build a WhatsApp, create a WhatsApp channel. They then invite their users to that channel. So again, we're not spamming people randomly. We're very careful and conscious of GDPR regulations. So we always give users the ability to opt out. Russell Hobbs has the obligation to send content that is relevant to its customers. If they don't, they'll block the channel and they'll be unable to send WhatsApp messages. So how this works is over here on the right would be where our platform lives. The equivalent of MailChimp, you can set up campaigns, you can segment content, and you can benefit from all of those amazing statistics that I mentioned earlier. So in summary, the opportunity I see for Russell Hobbs is to get the amazing reach of 8 out of 10 users using WhatsApp, the amazing interaction rates of up to 98%, and also the speed of interaction rates of up to 60% messages read within 1 hour. And that's me.
Awesome. Round of applause from Rob from B2B Store. Thank you, Rob. You can pass it over. You keep your mic. All right. So we're going to have Becca come back up and ask a question or a bit of feedback.
Great, thank you so much. I guess one thing I can see this working really well with is communities. Communities are growing quite a lot on Facebook. Do you see that moving over onto WhatsApp and growing communities on there for brands?
I think the difference with WhatsApp is it's not a social media channel as such. It's a mechanism to give you direct communication with your customers. So there's no algorithm involved. So I think that's the opportunity, is direct one-to-one segmented comms.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Great, thank you so much. All right, we're down to our last and final, but perhaps the best, who knows? We've got Dave from MLP, who's going to pitch his solution to Russell Hobbs. We've gone from geo-targeting to influencer marketing to WhatsApp. What on earth has Dave got in store for us? Well, let's find out. Let's welcome Dave to the store.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's David. I'm the Propositions Director at MLP, and we're all about how do we drive emotion into the purchase. So a great brief from Becca. The SDA market is completely saturated with discount, and it's a very competitive sector as well, particularly when the product you buy in doesn't really have a great margin in it. And often with sales promotion, the margin is restricted because it either comes out of the margin of the product or it comes from a frugal marketing budget. So MLP, we're a combined MarTech, incentive, reward and loyalty agency. We're full service, so we do everything in-house, which basically means we can go from the idea all the way through to fulfillment and distribution straight to the end user, even if it's gone through retailers. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create an emotional bond with the product and the user, so actually they become advocates for your brand. The brand loyalty, and where does brand loyalty start? It's all about trust, and who do we trust more than our partners and our friends? So how can we make Russell Hobbs more friendly towards their consumer group? So a bit of fun. We see Russell Hobbs really as a cradle-to-grave brand. You might not think a toaster's sexy or an air fryer's sexy, it just does a job. But actually, when you think about it, when was the best slice of toast you had? For the mums out there, it was probably when they gave birth. For the people out there that enjoy a drink of a night, it's probably when you couldn't get a pizza and you went, oh, I'm going to have a piece of toast when I get it, because it feels great. And that's the emotional connection that we're trying to drive. So we do this through partnerships. And here, why don't we talk about toasters and the moments that matter? The moments that are meaningful, the moments that engage us. So why don't we put the #1 toast brand together with the #1 toaster? Why don't we put the pot noodle together with the kettle? When we haven't got time for lunch because we've walked the dog and we've put the washing out and we're hybrid working and we're late for a meeting, we just grab a pot noodle. But actually, we could make a kettle look like a pot noodle and actually have a little bit of fun with it. And the same with the air fryer. Air fryer is all about convenience. How can we cook a lot of food in a short space of time for a family? And actually, convenience is all that, like the Gustos and the Hello Freshes of this world do. So why don't we put those people together to actually create that association and that emotional tie-in to the product, and we'll all be friends and we'll make those moments together. So a little bit more sensible about how an activation could look in store. And actually, why don't we flip this on its head? Often we'll think about, oh, we've decorated the kitchen, we've put a new kitchen in, so let's go and buy a new kettle. But actually, why can't the kettle and the toaster come first? We love your Eden brand, it's so colourful, so actually, why don't we get a brand, someone like Lick, and put tester pots next to it, because not only will it make people inquisitive, but it actually creates that drive to your product. And all we're trying to do is create brand disruption in a positive manner so your brand shouts louder from the shelf. And here, obviously, we've got great point of sale, and it could lead into a really nice social campaign. So again, you're getting stronger reach. And that's the great thing with these brands, is even though you've got a frugal budget, you're actually using the power of association and other people's budget and other people's reach to maximize your engagement with the audience. So what we want the customers to do is, of course, we want them to buy, but we want to buy into the family. We want them to buy into the brand ethos. We want them to buy into the repeat purchase and telling everybody how good that brand is, so it breeds advocacy. And we do this by integrating little and often rewards and incentives into the CRM journey. So once they've bought, can we actually get them to share that on social media and say what a great experience they've had and what a great product it is? Then can we get them to activate the warranty, because when you're selling through retailers, it's very, very difficult to get that first-party data that you want to market to, and often channels will only go through a D2C route, which can sometimes upset the merchants that you're actually putting products into. So actually, if we incentivize and reward the customers to register their warranty, then you've got that first-party data, they're in the CRM cycle, and then we can start having a bit of fun. So why don't we actually send them a surprise and delight birthday message? Why don't we send them a free cake? If there's events going on in the world like National Biscuit Day, why don't we partner with somebody like Co-op and just go and get your free biscuits, so then it's driving you to have another cuppa. We can talk about cross-selling when your warranty expires. How have you enjoyed your toaster? Do you want to have a look at air fryers? It all breeds back to the brand. And then we get to the repurchase and a bit of surprise and delight with a bit of gamification. There's so many touch points here that it really is a brand for life, and that's what we're trying to tap into here. So let's make it last, let's make those moments memorable, and let's make friends, and let's all have a brew together. Thanks very much.
Amazing. Give a hand for Dave from MLP. Love it, Dave. Right, we're going to get Becca up. He's going to give us a bit of feedback and perhaps a question for Dave, and then we're going to announce the winner.
Hi, Dave. That was
Hi,
really
Becca.
great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So does your platform have partnerships on it already, or how does it kind of work?
Yeah, so we're a full service agency, so we have everything from full account management to partnerships and products team. So we'll create our own experiences, like afternoon teas and spas and things that you'll see elsewhere, but also we go and recruit the brands to work with you, and we hold those relationships already. And then we can obviously deliver it through the web design, the studio, the fulfillment team that we have in-house as well.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Becca.
All right. So we've had 4 startups pitch their solutions. I bet you're all waiting in anticipation for who's going to be the winner, right? That's why we're here. Before we announce, I wonder, Becca, if you could just give us a couple of highlights, things that have really stood out to you in those 4 pitches that we've heard from this afternoon.
I mean, I think everyone stood out. Everyone's thought outside of the box. There's been some really unique and different ideas here today, which is why we wanted to do this challenge with the startups. I think the gifter campaign using the partnerships with FMCG brands is really interesting. And then also the partnership one at the end there was really great.
Okay, so the audience are waiting in anticipation. Becca, who would you like to pick as the winner of the Russell Hobbs Brand Challenge at Mad Up North 2025?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of pressure, actually. So I think everyone's been really great, but I think for me, MLP, the last ones, were a really standout winner for me today.
Awesome. MLP, right, Dave, can you come back up to the stage? We've got a big moment here for Dave and MLP. Guys, you want to come in the middle? We get a little photo opportunity. Just wave to the crowd. Thank you very much. Excellent. Well done, Dave. Well done, Dave. You're emotional. Do you want to say anything to the crowd?
Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, let's be friends and let's see us at the House of Innovation and we'll all brew up.
Amazing. Thank you so much. There you have it. MLP takes it home, the brand challenge. Now, if you're interested in any of the startups that have been pitching or more startups in the MarTech space, you can head over to the House of Innovation. We're in the back corner there, and we've got a collection of MarTechs that you can speed date with and have a little 5 minutes, sit down with a startup and see what sparks fly. But that's it for now for the brand challenge. Thank you so much, guys. You've been awesome. Enjoy your air fryers and kettles and have a great rest of MadFest.